Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Conjecturing Podcast, a podcast where we talk about horror movies and horror-ish related content. I'm your host for tonight, Greg. With me is Rob.
What's up? What's up? Laura's gone. Laura disappeared. There she is. Okay.
She's back.
Boo.
Laura, you're... Oh, boo.
Jesus Christ. Laura scared us.
We are the Conjecturing. We're the number 2 on CNN's top 7 freakiest podcasts on the planet.
Whoa.
I don't know if you guys knew
Nice.
that. That just got
Dang.
released a couple days ago, so
Nice.
congrats to us. Tonight, we are reviewing the Gonjiam... I'm going to...
I think that sounded right.
That's not right.
No?
It's all right. I'm gonna start that name over.
That's how I would-
Gonjiam Haunted Asylum.
That's how I would say it. That wasn't right.
There it
Say
is.
it with the C. It's like
I said it with the C. I said it with the C.
Oh.
did our name and that name together.
Oh, you said Conjiam? What is it? It's Gonjiam?
I almost said The Conjuring. It's Gonjiam Haunted Asylum.
Gonjiam.
That's the movie.
Okay.
Amazing movie. This is a Korean horror film that was released back in 2018. So a few years ago. How are you guys doing tonight? Actually, a quick question, Rob. In this particular moment, I have one question for you. How closely does your home resemble the haunted asylum? And have you found any wigs in your attic?
My home, what Greg is referencing, is going through some renovations right now. We had to like replace our AC unit and stuff. So like they took out a section of my house and put up like these plastic sheetings. I think I put a picture up on Twitter.
It's scary.
So there's like plastic sheeting with zippers that you have to walk through to like section off areas, and then through the air conditioning ducts, there's like holes they cut in the ceiling. So I pretty much live in a haunted asylum right now, guys. Like I look up and there's like ducks hanging out and shit, and it's all
Hair
like, creepy
come out
looking.
of the top.
It looked
yeah.
like hair.
It did look like hair. I know, it was super creepy. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it when we talk about the movie. I'll tell you guys what happened after I watched this movie, and I had to walk through the creepiness of zippers and plastic,
Oh,
and
God.
oh man, it was freaking horrifying. But yeah, my house looks like a haunted asylum right now. Exactly, Greg.
Nice. Good to know.
Yikes.
Good to know. I'm sure that'll give you great dreams tonight.
Yeah.
Are we wearing anything? I'm not wearing anything tonight. I think, Laura, what have you got in your head there?
Before I get to my head, I will
Oh,
say that I am wearing one of our t-shirts.
merch shirts.
I'm wearing our lifeguard on duty Bagul shirt. And the reason I'm wearing
fitting.
this is because I think this is our scariest design that we have in our store.
Bagul?
Yeah,
Bagul-
I
Bagul in the
think this
pool?
is like our scariest merch.
yeah.
And this was one of the scariest fucking movies I've ever watched in my life. So
Oh,
that was a no-brainer.
that's
Nice.
true. Mhm.
Yeah, check us out. tpublic/conjecturing pod.
No, not even close.
No, it's not that.
Rob, why don't you give it a shot?
tpublic.com/user/conjecturing pod.
Oh, there it is. All right.
Ah, Laura,
Great shirt.
I'm gonna put you in asylum.
Okay, on my head,
Yeah, let's get to the main stuff, Laura. What are you wearing?
let's get to it. Let's do it. All right. I went for it. I have a pair of I think this is my only pair of white undies wrapped around my head so that you guys don't get
Yep.
lost.
Oh, is that why? So
Oh,
you're
so
our
we can find our way
guide.
back.
You're a
Yeah.
penny guide. Wow. And can
I'm
we
a
get-
panty guy.
Yeah, you're the penny guide. Yeah.
Oh,
You're
guide.
Guide. Yeah, guide, not guy, penny guy. Yeah, no, come on, Laura.
All right, Laura, what's going on in your background there?
I found a picture of the actual asylum, and it's
Ooh.
in the daylight because I refused to put up an image from this movie because, like, I can't look at Rob right now. I can't look at a
Can't look at my
screen.
background.
I can't look at. Yeah, I'm too scared. Yeah,
Yes.
that's not even it.
That wasn't it, but that
That's
was
pretty-
That
kinda-
was
I thought it
also
was
very
good.
scary.
It was
though.
actually horrifying.
It's like the scariest part of the movie.
All right,
Nice.
Laura. All right, sorry.
I'm done.
Yeah,
Laura's
so
done.
mine's the same. So basically, this movie is centered around this real asylum in South Korea that, according to the story of the movie, that was closed in the 70s due to a variety of mass suicides and the director's disappearance. And there were rumors that the building was built on a burial ground that was used as like a front to torture war criminals and all kinds of like scary shit, typical stuff you hear about in all of these haunted asylums, haunted house stories. So my background is actually the same. This is from the actual asylum. You can tell, the paint on the walls is coming off. There's just a lot of junk everywhere, like it's been abandoned for several decades. So
Looks
I
like
just,
my house. Looks like my house right now.
oh yeah, it kind of does actually.
Kind of does, yeah.
Wait,
What's wrong,
hold the
Laura?
phone.
Uh-oh.
What?
Hold the phone. I know that the asylum existed. It was a
Mhm.
real place. But are you telling me that the backstory is true?
No. So in the movie, that's the
Oh,
backstory. I mean, like
Jesus
the
fuck.
backstory of the actual asylum is actually
Oh,
pretty pedestrian. I think there was like a sewage problem, like a pipe
yeah,
broke or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
couldn't
Okay.
maintain like proper sanitation to meet building code. So
The way you said that,
I thought it
I
was
was
real.
like, oh
Mhm.
my God, there were mass suicides and like this all happened. I was about to leave.
I should have ran with
I
that
mean,
actually.
the place is supposed to be like legit haunted. It's like ranked like number 7 in the world of like haunted locations. So
Rob, it's
Yeah.
gone now. I
what's
made
gone
sure
now?
of it.
Yeah, they
The
demoed it back
asylum
they
in
demoed it, right?
2018.
gone.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's a poltergeist situation now. They're gonna build homes on that site. Just like
Shit,
get possessed and shit. Oh wow.
man.
Rob, what do you got in your background?
Oh yeah, my background. You already heard the noise. It's super creepy. My background is like the what would you call it? The main guy's like video screen when he was trying to set up for the YouTube or streaming service
Yeah,
that
it
they
was
were doing.
the splash page for the
Yeah,
the
and then it
live
has
recording.
on the left and the right, it has like that girl sitting in a chair. It's like with that red like view on it, so everything's red. And Laura's just waiting for her to stand up. She's
Dude,
waiting for her to stand up, jump
I'm
into
gonna
her
throw my
screen.
panties at her.
She might run away at that. She might run away with those
Use it like a
panties.
slingshot. Like, no.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I was like you guys. I refuse to do any of the backgrounds with the main chick at the end of this movie with her giant eyeballs making that noise. Like that
awful.
was mainly the ones that you would choose from the background. I was like, no, I can't do it. So this was the most pedestrian I saw. That was still kind of creepy. Actually looks kind of legit. That looks super cool.
It's really scary.
It's really
Yeah.
scary. And it's actually not that scary compared to the other ones, Laura. So calm down, Laura.
I will not calm down. Don't you dare tell me to calm down.
Okay, all right, okay, all right.
Throw a ping pong at your ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I had heard about this movie a long time ago, and just based on the synopsis of like a group of people go in to investigate an abandoned asylum to investigate reported hauntings. That's basically it, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that pulled me, and I wanted to watch it, but I think for a time it wasn't available to stream, and I don't know. I didn't catch it in the theaters, but so it was always in my back pocket, like, oh yeah, I should watch this, but never got around to it. So I had seen a TikTok on it recently, so I was like, oh okay, yeah, I forgot about that movie. I want to watch it, and it reminded me of something that kind of a story I'll probably get to later. About this type of like paranormal investigation stuff. So I thought it was
Nice.
anyway,
Pretty cool.
So real quick, I'm gonna try to do this cast justice just because I feel like it's good to mention the people who were in this movie. I thought they did a great job acting, so I want to call them out. So I'll do my best to pronounce the name. So Wee Ha Jun, he's the captain. He's the main character of this movie. Park Ji Hyun, Oh Hyun, Moon Yi Won, also called Charlotte. Park Sung Hoon, Yoo Ji Yeon, Yi Sung Wook, and Park Ji Ya. All of these characters, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they use their actual names
Oh, really?
in the movie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the actors' names were also the character names. So I think
Hmm.
that always makes me think that there's an additional element of realism. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, I just
Like
I,
Paranormal Activity. That
like
was
Paranormal
like,
Activity.
yeah, or Blair Witch Project, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Found footage movies.
Yeah.
Found
yeah.
footage, low budget. It's just an easy way for people to. I mean, I don't even know if we're even to that part yet, but it's like it's so like loose script, where they're just
Yeah.
like talking, and it feels so much more natural. Yeah.
I mean, I have to imagine that as an actor, if you're actually being called by your real name, don't you think that it feels more personal to you, and you then react in a more personal, realistic manner?
Mhm.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
imagine so. So that was kind of a cool, interesting fact. The main character, Ha Jun, do you guys recognize this guy?
I don't. Mm-mm.
He's the police officer from Squid Game.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
The police
Oh,
officer who
shit.
infiltrates the Squid Game and tries to
Oh, that's
uncover
right.
Yeah, this was like his sort of break, you
Breakout?
could say,
Hmm.
before he got onto the Squid Game cast. I was
Oh,
like, I knew this guy.
man.
I had to look it up.
God, I
cool.
just can't stand him in this movie, though. That's too bad.
Well, he's kind of an asshole, so yeah, for
I
sure.
want to fucking punch him.
Oh man.
All right, so this was such an interesting movie and so uniquely made. Like, I think the first place that we got to start off with is talking about like the setup for this movie.
Hmm.
So like, what's the backstory? Why are these kids doing this? What was your guys' take on that? Rob, what do you think?
Just like the whole like they want like YouTube videos, or they're like a horror investigating crew or something like that, right?
Yeah, like so, the first shot of the movie, which is interesting, has nothing to do with these guys at all. It actually just shows. I don't know. Again, I unfortunately watched this on my phone. So, but when you're watching a movie, it's in landscape mode, right? But the first shot of the movie is in portrait mode. So I kept trying to rotate my phone
somebody's phone.
to try to fix it. But I think it was done intentionally to make you realize like it was being shot on a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were some random kids out there at the haunted asylum trying to look into things, and of course they get into some trouble and like the feed cuts. But the cool thing that I thought was, so right after the feed cuts from the first scene, you see this. It's almost like an animation of like a hand coming up out of the ground. It's like super cheesy, super campy, and I thought that was the intro to the movie. Like it was going to be.
I thought so too. Yeah,
like the movie. I was like about to groan, but then what you find out is like that's just the intro to. It's very meta. That's the intro to this TV show or this YouTube channel that these groups of kids, webcasters, they have. It's called Horror Times, and I thought that was like a really cool intro, because like they didn't really show Gonjiam, haunted asylum. They basically said like, these are a group of kids, and it's very modern, right? This is something that wouldn't have been made 20 years ago. It's very like talking about social media. They're talking about getting attention, getting likes, getting views. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Laura?
I loved it. I truly love the whole concept of this movie. I mean, not even just the found footage, but yeah, like you were saying, I love that it's like this internet presence. He does specifically like horror. What was it? Horror Nights, you said? Is that what they're called? Horror Times. Yeah. So it's all scary. I love that it's, they were saying, oh, out of the 10 like most horrifying places in the world, this is one of them. How he finds this group of just like, I wouldn't say misfits, but they're all very like, they're very adventurous, and they all have like a flair for horror, and they're all just super pumped to do this, and they're all looking forward to the views and the ads and any kickback they're gonna get. I loved it, and just adding that to the whole found footage aspect of it, and really cool using GoPros and using multiple GoPros, like having not only just their POV but also like eventually their faces. I just thought it was believable. Sometimes you watch found footage, it's not believable, but for me this was.
I fully agree. I mean, it's exactly like we said. Super felt to me very unscripted dialogue and plot, and felt very unfriended. The movie Unfriended, where it just sounds like they're just talking, because it's like they're not reading these lines maybe, or they're just like friends hanging out, which makes it feel so much more real, especially in this type of a movie where it's like a reality-based movie. I thought it all worked. All that stuff. I mean, you're talking about like young, I don't know how old these kids are. They could be like 22, 25, I don't know, 19, I don't know. But they all like nailed it, from what I saw in this movie. I was like, man, these all are great actors.
Great. They were really, really good. Like I didn't have a problem with, and I don't know if this is just a matter of like, we're reading their body language and they're reading how they show, because again, we're not listening to English language, we're listening to the Korean language and we're reading it. Maybe that helps like diffuse it, but I thought that watching them and then reading what they were saying, it was like on point. We spent like the first 20 minutes really just this was one of my favorite parts of the movie actually. Was
me too, before it got really fucking scary.
Because I feel like, so this is one of the things that I really enjoyed about, say, Cloverfield, which is like the OG found footage, right? Where you get to know the characters, you get to know like their personalities a little bit. I mean, even though we didn't go like hardcore deep into each one, you got to get the vibe of what they're like as a group. We understand their motivation. Like they really spend a good amount of time talking about, hey, like if we get a lot of views, we're going to get ad revenue. Like I don't know if the model is exactly like that with YouTube. You get 100,000 views, you get like $1 million. It's not like that, but the idea is there. And like, you get a sense of who each person is. I mean, they all have very distinct personalities, right? Like one of them is like, oh, I'm like, is very gung ho. Another is like, I'm not really into it, but I'm here for the ride. One's like the fun one.
One's like a
You,
scaredy cat. That was me.
yeah, one's a scared, yeah, like
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
yeah.
speaking of like unscripted and getting to know them, I feel like that one guy, I think his name was like Jae-yoon,
Hmm.
he like did not like that one chick. Just
Oh, from
he
the
just
beginning,
met her
yeah.
and like did
Oh
not like
right, and
her.
he kept saying,
Yeah.
"Go home."
Yun. He was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, go
Yeah.
home, go home," and it like kept up through the whole movie. That felt so unscripted. I was like, I know for a fact. I don't know for a fact, but I'm telling you right now, I think he like made that up because her uncomfortableness every
Yeah.
time he would say it, and she's just like, ah,
Right.
okay. I don't know why that fucking cracked me up.
I
That
thought it
was
was
so funny.
I thought that
He's
was
such a dick.
I thought it was
Yeah.
weird because I kept thinking like, okay, is that gonna pay itself off at some point? Like, is he gonna like save her or want to like be her friend now? But I feel like nothing ever happened to like justify that beginning. It was weird. So it must have been like you said, Laura. He just
That's
decided
what
to like
made it so
improv that.
realistic.
Well, that's
That's
what makes
like
it good, because like
what happened. Yeah.
we've all seen like that guy who
Yeah.
takes it too far, and
I
you
hate
don't know
Laura.
if
I
like
hate Laura all the time. Yeah.
You really do, man.
you know that there's people out there who like in those situations where there's like stakes at risk, right? Where
Mhm.
people are maybe scared or there's like anxiety on the line. There's always going to be one guy that's trying to like take a cut at somebody else because he's maybe scared or he's afraid or he's anxious, and he looks for the weakest person to take it out on in order to like feel braver or feel better
Yeah.
about himself.
That's
I
true.
think that was this guy.
He
It
was the
did feel
scared
realistic.
cat. He was the scared guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet they were like always partnered together too. Like, oh, you two
Yeah.
go on that floor together.
Mhm.
And I was like, why are you putting them together? They like, he hates her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they like hooked up in real life before the cameras rolled and they broke up
Dude,
or something.
I got that vibe.
There was definitely some tension there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But one cool thing was that the captain, what was his name, Hajun, he was sort of like narrating this whole ordeal, and he was basically like the filter between the public and the team,
The
and
host.
he was the host, yeah, basically, right, and he was framing
that
every
guy.
situation as like, if is this real or not, and he kept trying to call out, okay, well, no, this wasn't real, this wasn't, at least that's how he was portraying it. So I thought that was a cool like twist. Like it seemed as if that was their that was like their message. They were trying to debunk almost like realistic hauntings,
Hmm.
or prove them actually. So
Mhm.
I thought it was just a really cool setup overall. So like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I was on board from the beginning. I liked the characters. I liked the banter. I liked the restaurant scene where they were screwing around.
Yeah.
Basically, like, I don't know, like, if I don't know about you guys, but I feel like if I'm gonna go out and meet some strangers and get into this group and like investigate a haunting, like that's how it would go.
hmm
You would get to know each other. You're all in it. You don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. You might get scared. This might be all just a joke, but you're all there to like make money and find out what's going on, and it's just a cool setup to me.
And would you guys ever do like this? Like
No.
if Laura, wait a second.
Yes, if it finished.
I know. Let me go through this, Laura. What if like say like a couple episodes from now, like I tell you guys like, hey guys, I procured like we're gonna go on like a haunted thing and like some not an asylum because I wouldn't even do that, but like just like a haunted, like I don't know, like a bookstore or something like that. Like which
Oh, yeah. But if you told me we're going to this one place where everyone, quote unquote, that's ever been there has potentially died, I would say, go fuck yourself, Rob.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. So
I would
no,
do
it's
it.
not
I
okay.
would do it.
You
I would
go,
do it.
Greg,
Oh.
you go.
I would make you guys record. We would do a pod straight up in that
Oh,
place.
it's crazy because like I have a memory now because I'm like talking about it. I've never been to like a haunted place per se, but I remember when I was younger, me and my brother, my dad used to live around the corner from like it used to be like a mall. And then it kind of like all the businesses went out, and there used to be a Sears there, a big Sears building, and it was like closed down for years. And me and my brother once went inside. We opened one of the emergency exits
Oh
and
my
went
God.
inside like an abandoned Sears, and we were walking around. It was it was daytime, but once like everything is shut, it's like kind of dark in there. And we were
Yeah.
walking around. Actually, we were on rollerblades. And I remember we were on rollerblades. We were rollerblading around in there.
It's such a 90s thing.
I know.
Oh, man.
And just like looking around and seeing stuff. And I remember like at one point there's an escalator going down to like the bottom floor, which would be kind of like the basement area. And I remember we were gonna go down, and we started to go down, and we heard like somebody say something down there, and we were like, "Oh shit!" And so we started like to rollerblade away, and then we started looking down, and there was like bare footprints on the ground, like of somebody.
Oh,
So I mean, we assumed it was like some homeless person, but
wow.
I mean, I don't know. It could have been a fucking, I don't know, Korean
That's
demon or something.
horrifying.
Yeah, it sounds creepy. Yeah. I was saying, like, would you guys do that if I was like, I found an abandoned Sears?
I don't
You
know,
guys wanna go
man. There
investigate?
are there are definitely, so I've seen YouTube videos of abandoned subways and abandoned
Oh,
underground
no.
areas in
No,
New
no,
York City where there are like people who stay down there for like shelter and stuff. So
Mhm.
you don't know what a random person is capable of. So that I don't know. If it's like known for like encampments, then I probably
Mhm.
wouldn't do it.
Oh, okay, all right.
But if it's like truly vacant and it's just like you and
Mhm.
like that place,
Mhm.
maybe.
All right. Well, let's find a
Laura's
place, guys.
Laura's out. I can see
Yeah,
your
we'll
face.
fi-
You're
we'll
like
find a
out.
place.
I also don't trust you guys 100%, so I am sure that if Rob, you planned this, then you're gonna have some shit like
You'll be
pop
like
up
one,
and
you'll be like the guy who
Yeah.
orchestrated like the bells ritual in this
Yeah,
movie.
Exactly.
that'd be me. I come out with my my wig I own and shit. Start running
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
I'm just wearing underwear and a wig. It's
Dirty white undies.
dirty white undies. Start making that noise. Yeah.
Why is that like that?
That's
No.
what she, that's what she
No.
does. That's what she does in
No.
this movie. That's what she does.
I don't know
Wait, Laura, you
why.
got to do it. You got to hear you do it. Let's see if
No.
you can beat Rob.
It's not that. When I heard her do it, when I then try to immediately do it after, I just sounded like I was trying to rap a Busta Rhymes song. That's what it
Wait.
reminded me of. It's
Wait a
like
second. Wait
every
a
time I
second.
gotta
though.
sit it, I gotta go with it, I gotta do it, then I gotta blow with it, I gotta show a little thing, and it doesn't matter. That's
Basically,
what I
what
heard.
it is, just can you just whisper a Busta Rhymes rap and then into the microphone?
Every time I gotta get it, I gotta go with it, I gotta
There
blow
it
with
is.
Pretty cool. Oh, that is it, Laura. Wow. Wait, Laura, didn't you watch this movie by yourself?
I did. I
You were
was so
doing it to
scared.
yourself then? You were making the noise by yourself?
You're
Guys-
probably freaking yourself out.
I watched this movie. I mean, I watched it. I'm like out of breath. I watched it at night. But I had every light on.
Oh, me too.
And I had my dog
Oh.
in my lap. I was so scared. Okay, so like side note, I was in quarantine because I fucking got COVID again. And yeah, I don't even want to talk about it.
I'll put you in asylum.
Yeah, seriously. And so, my husband was not sleeping in the bedroom because I was isolating. And I literally texted him and was like, you might just have to come in here because I'm that scared. And he was like, go fuck yourself, no way. But I was so scared. Oh my God.
What were the parts that like amped up the scare factor?
That
for you?
part.
Well,
When
that was the
Bitch
part.
That's
started whispering
that's-
Busta Rhymes
that's like-
lyrics.
Yeah.
I was done.
Flipmo Squad, yeah.
That was the scariest part of this movie, hands down.
Yeah, like this movie, I mean, it follows the pretty typical format, I think, of most of these movies where, like, the first 30 minutes are either going to be false scares or fake scares, and then the last 30 minutes are going to be like the real shit's going to go down, and everything in the middle is kind of like a little creepy, whether it's like, them getting their arm pulled or a door shutting or they hear a noise. It's like nothing
Yeah.
super scary, so I was okay during that. But yeah, from the creepy flip mode squad part with the girl when she's talking creepy, and then you go into like the last 20 minutes where shit just goes haywire. Like I literally was watching the movie like covering my eyes, like covering my eyes, or I would be like squinting because I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen right now? Yeah, I had every light on too, like Laura though. I was like, fuck, this shit was freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts.
What
Yeah.
about you, Greg? Like watching it, like
I mean, again,
you're
maybe
braver
this is
than
my
us.
problem. Like, I was watching on the phone. I think
Oh,
I was
oh my
okay
God.
until that girl popped up.
because
Till
that's
the
like
girl popped
that's
up.
like right into your face, dude. You almost like gave her like a, like a kiss. It's like right into your face, dude.
But I
wow.
actually thought that they amped up the tension really well. So you guys know that one of the things that I and this goes both into things that I really like about horror movies and things that I don't, is when how they handle like the realism aspect. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna go and do a paranormal investigation, you're not gonna. I love the fact, for example, one that they came in with a lot of video tech. They actually looked prepared. They
Yeah.
had tactical gear. They weren't just Scooby Dooing the shit up with like a flashlight and like, hey,
It's
Right.
let's
not
get scared by
it's not me
ghosts.
and Greg if we actually go somewhere.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
wouldn't know the
Yeah.
first thing about this. We just
Greg
have
would beat
like,
you,
you know,
yeah.
our phone lights.
Yeah.
They actually were hauling like actual gear up
Yeah.
there. They had all kinds of like tech, which is so awesome because to me, this is I think the writing and like how they conceptualized the POV found footage aspect was absolutely genius. I think that
Mm-hmm.
they solved the problem of found footage. Like we all hate the fact that found footage, when we watch it, it always conveniently lands on an angle where you can see all the action, or where the narrator is like saying exactly what needs to be said. There's so many like contrivances about
Mm-hmm.
found footage, but they solved everything. They
Yeah.
have this live
So
stream
believable.
concept.
Yeah.
They set up the CCTV cameras like inside the place first, so that whenever
Mhm.
you flash back to it, you get like the POV of like the whole team. And this
Yep.
method gives you like a found footage format without having to shoot from like this annoying first person shot all the time. And it's believable because
yeah.
this is what they're trying to do. They even have music at times, right? Where if
Mhm.
you were watching a found footage film and you heard music, you'd be like, where the fuck is that music coming from?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're using this to market their live stream, it is so believable.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made it seem so real. Even the replays, like, when they would like replay the action and you could actually slow down and see what you missed from
Yep.
the scene before that was naturally fast and you missed it, they replay it. So that, what another movie would probably do is show the action, and like you would see the scary thing right in front of you, very obvious, perfectly in frame, and you go, that's not realistic. If I were shooting it, I wouldn't be able to catch that. But the fact that is, when they go to the replay, you can see it, but there's a reason for the replays, because they have someone like orchestrating the production from a
Yeah.
tent.
Right.
And I thought that was freaking genius. Like
Yeah.
the way that they solved all the problems and all the things that we hate about found footage, and they actually made it a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put in my notes that this is the Blair Witch, but they show everything. Like they show shit. You know, 'Cause
Yeah.
that's the one thing
Oh,
with Blair
yeah.
Witch. Like Blair Witch is super creepy because it's like the unknown and the unseen, but like they actually don't show anything in the Blair Witch.
Nope.
This movie is
Right.
like Blair Witch, but they show shit. Like they show everything in this one. You know, that
This
it works.
movie makes Blair Witch Project look like a Disney movie. No.
Right.
A Disney movie. If the end of Blair Witch, Laura, if the guy in the corner turned around and he was like, blah, 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 would you like start freaking out, Laura?
Start robbing some Busta with him. I'd be like, yeah, get it.
Laura, you were not rapping Busta when you saw this movie. You know, you were
No,
scared. You were scared.
I was behind my fingers
Yeah.
just
You were
like
crying.
you, like
Yeah.
barely looking.
Yeah.
I was so
Wow.
scared.
That's funny.
I was scared, but I was equally mad at the guy. Like I
Oh.
totally, everything you said, Greg, totally. Like I loved how authentic it was, like with all of the different footage and POVs. But
Mhm.
he pissed me off standing back at that tent. Like I get he's the captain and he's gotta fucking make it work
Right.
for his little podcast and his fucking YouTube, but
You sound like you're talking to me.
yeah, I think I am.
I think you are.
Getting my anger out.
I know, jeez.
But like this was all his idea. He's the sick fuck, and yet he's like, I'm just gonna sit back in my tent and watch it all unfold. It's like, no,
Mhm.
motherfucker.
There
So
was
then
that
when he-
moment where he was like, if you guys don't go any further, I'll kill you. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's
no,
extreme, buddy.
It really pissed me off.
Did you guys keep doing what I was doing when they would show him in the tent? Like, would you guys look at the background?
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
was
yeah.
like-
I thought
time,
something was
right?
going to
Let's
happen.
go.
Yeah, me
sure
too.
back
Yeah.
there.
I really loved, like I said, I mean, back to what Greg is saying, like, there's so much thought put into everything in this movie.
Mhm.
Even like the tent itself, like the material using like that type of tent that's like fluid and is like waving with the wind
Yeah.
was so creepy to me because I would be looking at like the walls of the tent and be like, is that like just the wall moving? Is that like a ghost there? If it was
Yeah.
a normal tent with like it's more rigid and it has like the
Yeah.
poles and shit, it wouldn't move that much. The fact that they used almost like a military-esque tent, I thought was
Yeah.
genius because every time it would blow or move around, I was like, holy fuck, I was scared.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are one of the those scenes. Every time that they showed like the power god in the tent, I swear something
Oh,
was gonna come after him, and just
yeah.
like you said, Rob, like the vibe of because inside it's very rigid and quiet and stifling. Like there's no air flowing, there's nothing moving, but outside there's like shadows flickering on the tent walls. There's like the breeze going through, and you
Yeah.
just think that something's gonna come after him. So that was awesome to me.
Definitely,
Yep.
definitely. I mean, are we gonna? Should we just talk about like the ending and what happens and what what really happened? Possibly, Laura's confused. I think I'm possibly confused. I feel like it might be a long discussion. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, I think there's different ways to interpret the ending. Like, what were you guys? What were you guys confused about, or was it pretty solid for you?
I think kind of I don't know. I was kind of confused about like everything that was happening towards the end.
I
Like,
didn't understand anything I
I,
saw. No.
it was all like horrifying to me. And I don't know if it's
Yeah.
I don't know the fact that like I don't understand parts because I was literally covering my eyes through a lot of it. But like so what happened is like they touched the doll, right? They shouldn't have touched the doll. Or was the doll not real? I forget.
The
Oh,
doll
the
was the
doll.
doll was real.
Well, I thought at one point the guys that were playing, because the one thing that you find out in this story is that the main guy and two of the other guys, they're doing fake scares. They're like
Right,
planting
right.
scares to scare everybody and get more views because they don't think anything's gonna really happen. But I couldn't remember if they said they brought the doll or not.
I don't remember that part, but they did contrive a lot of the situations because,
Yeah.
like you said, they were. I think they were banking on the fact that maybe nothing would happen, so that they would have to scare at least that Charlotte girl because she was giving the best reactions, and some of the other girls to make it look like something was happening. So that's also part of like the realism because there were a lot of creepy things happening. There was like hair hanging from the ceiling. There was that doll. There was the
Oh,
wig in the vat
Mm-hmm.
where you couldn't really discern whether it was real or if it was just they thought, oh, maybe some of these things were left behind as a prank by other people who had been here before.
Yeah.
So that seems realistic. So then, as a viewer, when you were watching something happening, you couldn't necessarily tell whether or not it was actual haunting or if it was being faked or if it was something that was just left there. So the doll, I'm not sure about, but I think it was real.
You think the doll was real? Okay, because like the doll is one thing, and then the one girl stepped on or broke a vial of some type of chicken foot or something like that. That was like a chicken
Yeah,
thing
there was a
down
chicken. I
there.
don't know what that was
are you
about.
gonna go through every single thing that
I
happens
was
and
just,
ask Greg if it's real or not? Because
no,
I
I
don't
was just
I don't think we have time for that.
no, I know that. I know. I was just trying to pinpoint the things that made the demon, the ghost, the entities be like, we're killing you now. Not just like we're gonna scare you. Like you haven't harmed us yet. You haven't done anything to us personally to offend us. Just being here.
Oh, it
I
had to have
was.
been the ritual. It was the ritual. They tried to fake a ritual where
Oh
they
really?
put
Oh.
like an amulet down and
Oh
they
yeah.
brought some holy water and then they strung up
Oh,
some bells on
really?
string
Did you watch
and
this movie, Rob?
I told you my eyes were closed through a lot of this movie. I was scared.
They brought the holy water in. I mean,
yeah,
My underwear
yeah.
were definitely brown through most of this movie. Yeah. Okay, so like that's all real. So then, because it seems like the girl that ends up doing the noise, I'm not going to do because I've done it so many times now. It gets possessed. Um, there you go, Greg. Good job, Greg. Greg did it now. Like why did it single her out as like to me like the main person to get possessed?
It got everybody. I don't know what you
it
mean.
got
But it
everybody.
was
Yeah.
she was to me was the first one, and then I thought she was the one that was like starting to kill people.
I think because
What?
no, yeah, because they were starting to she
Lord.
wanted out. She wanted to get away from the asylum. So I think it was like, "Oh, you're not going to get away.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
going to
see,
we're going to
I
pull you back."
thought she was the first to get possessed because she got cut. So like
With their
in
arm?
most other horror movies, yeah, it's like
She was weak. Yeah,
first
yeah.
person to get like hurt by a demon. Like even Paranormal Activity, like okay, now it's
Mhm.
like in her.
Oh,
But
okay.
I honestly just I've followed I assumed that it followed the same rule that they were saying the whole time about this movie is that if you even dare to go into this place, you're dead. Like
Oh,
there have
okay.
been no survivors. So I don't even think that it was the ritual. I think they were dead. No matter just going
Just to
there.
go in there. Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. Okay. All right. We're
See,
not
I'm not
going. We're not
confused
going anywhere,
about
Greg. We're not going on our trip.
I'm not confused about anything that happens until the very end.
I think what happens at the very end is like the hospital takes everybody. It possesses everybody. Like I actually loved each situation where you see the ghost hands go in front of someone's
Oh hell
eyes.
Oh,
no,
that
dude.
was
Oh
so
no,
It
scary.
dude.
turns their eyes black. That was
That was
Oh.
so
freaking
fucked up, dude.
No, see,
creepy.
I get all that. You see all the dead inmates. Inmates?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
say
could.
that? Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I guess.
patience.
Patience. There you
They
go.
didn't commit.
You
They didn't
see
commit a
them
crime.
all.
They're just,
And then, the ghost of the director lady comes out. I get that.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think my
True.
first question is, did we ever really learn why? Why did she do all this? We don't know why.
I don't.
She
That
was,
to me feels like a
yeah.
big,
Was that part of
that's a
this?
big
Was
question
that
mark.
part of the backstory? Did she like kill herself there and then killed everybody? Or
Well, she went
Well, they
missing.
don't
So the
know.
idea,
Yeah.
the rumors, according to the movie, were that there were some mass suicides, but the rumors were that she actually was performing experiments on the patients and killed all of them, and then she killed herself. She hung herself because she couldn't deal with the grief or whatever.
Oh.
But now she's stuck as a ghost inside this place because her
Got
soul
it.
is tormented.
But they're all
what
there
have
too,
you.
Actually,
right?
that
And she
you just
still
explained it.
controls
Yeah.
them. She still controls the.
Yeah,
Well, they're all
that's the
just
part
evil
where
spirits.
it's good if you know the story. Maybe it helps you understand.
Mhm.
Like we have the motivations for the main characters, but we don't really have
Yeah.
the motivations for the ghosts. I guess
Right.
it would be good to know that.
All
At
right.
least like with Blair Witch, we understood that she was just evil and terrible. And
Right.
but like at the end of the movie, though, to me, it
Yeah. What room was it in? Was it 404 or 402?
402.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
402.
don't go in there because that's like where shit went down, right?
That was her room. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my biggest question is it's Rob's background. At the very end of the movie, after the stream is
Laura,
over,
I'm still confused before we even get to that part. We can't go to your
I
part.
gotta get it out.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, all
Go
right.
ahead.
The chick in
Listen
the background stands up.
Yeah.
What? What the fuck is this? Who is she? Why is she standing up?
Well,
How
this-
did that happen?
okay,
Isn't
this
that
is-
the background?
This is my thing. I think what you find out in the back, the fact that what you're talking about, Laura, is like the splash page, which is like the frame around the video
Mm-hmm.
that this group has set up as like that. So if you're an internet viewer and you go to YouTube and you check it out, this is what you see. This background. I think what actually happened is that what you see in the end. There were only about 500 people that were watching the quote unquote live stream.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happens is like the whole the ghosts in the hospital and the director, they hijacked the live stream and they didn't allow any actual scary things to be shown to the public. And they only let stuff that was like faked by the group to be shown, so that the whole
That's why the
like
viewers
almost
left.
a million
Yeah.
views. I don't even think that they got to a million
It
views.
was like 800,000. I think. Was
Yeah,
the most I
800,000.
saw.
I think that they made the captain believe that there were 800,000 views, so
do you
that
think that was fake too?
I think that was fake
wow.
too. I think that they never had that many followers, but he kept the hospital contrived that to make him push his group to go further and further. But no one ever saw the footage. That's why at the end, I don't know if you were reading the subtitles, it said like, "Oh, they never showed the live stream," or "We knew it was like
That's
manipulated."
people chatting, right? People chatting.
people
and-
chatting.
Yeah, saying
So
they
there
knew
were
it was
there
a
were
fake.
only a few people to watch it because there was no actual live stream. That's just
Oh.
my thinking.
I remember the one part where they're showing everybody in like a group in one room, and so like everybody's looking at each other kind of, and the guy with the backwards hat, the scaredy cat guy, kind of looks over his shoulder to like look at who's filming, and you don't
Yeah,
notice anything at the
right.
time because it's towards the beginning of the movie, and I guess towards the end the main asshole guy is like, wait, like who was filming that, because they're all in the shot. And so like that's what I guess what you're talking about, Greg, because like technically
Yeah.
like the ghost took over the cameras.
Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
not
the
like he looked
ghost
over
was
his shoulder
using
and he
it?
saw a camera floating. He just
Yeah.
felt a presence, I think, and
Yeah.
what it was the ghosts trying to show that feed to the captain.
So, Greg, you're telling me that the ghosts did all this, and then at the very end, they get into the splash page and they decide that the image of a scary lady sitting down, they're going to have her stand up and walk away as like a mic drop?
Sure. They're like,
I
yeah, look what
mean,
we did.
I assume that the lady in the chair standing up is like the head lady from the
The
asylum,
director,
right?
yeah.
The director, right? Yeah.
Well, how do you get that picture of her then?
Well, like Greg is saying, I don't think it was actually there then, right, Greg? Or like
yeah,
nobody,
like maybe it
the
wasn't even
viewers
there to
didn't see
begin
it.
with. Yeah,
Yeah.
no one ever saw that. No one saw her get up, so I don't know. That's just it's an idea. Who knows? I think some of it is made to be like aesthetic, just to scare
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Oh,
know,
it
and-
scared me, all right.
Oh yeah, it scared me too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there were a few things in this movie like that, but
Wow.
It's probably why I want an answer so bad. That's how I get. I think a lot of people are like that. When something scares you that
Mhm.
much, you like need to know. It's your way of controlling the situation and controlling your fear
Right.
and the emotion is like, I have to have an answer
You know what you
to
can do,
know
Laura?
why
You
she did
could
that.
watch the movie again.
Nope, no,
With
no,
your panties on your head.
nope.
You put them over your eyes so you can just see through them a little bit.
Oh, I can see through
Uh,
them.
oh yeah. Oh, okay, that's good. Stay away from that brown stain. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. This movie was terrifying to me, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
you know I don't like Blair Witch gets me, like paranormal gets me, like these type of things get me more than just like Babadook or something like that, where it's like I clearly
Yeah.
know it's just like a fake creature. Like these ones get me more. So yeah, when this shit went haywire at
Yeah.
the end, I was like, yeah, cover my eyes, please, cover my eyes too. You know, like
Yeah.
they do in the movie and shit.
What,
Yeah,
what if we found a YouTube model that said we would be paid $100,000 to do something
Nope.
like this? Would
to
you
go
guys
into
do?
an
No?
asylum.
Yeah, well, any kind of haunted place like this. Yeah, say an asylum. Would you
Greg,
guys do
this
it?
is why you're the one that gets out of the car when there's an alien
That's true.
invasion. Like you're dead, dude.
Well,
If you had to
You-
choose, though, Greg, if you had to go into say
uh-huh.
an asylum for the elderly or an asylum for children, which one would you?
Oh,
Which one is more fucked up? Which one would
Oh,
you be like?
man.
hell
No.
no.
I'm gonna say elderly, and the reason
too, I
why,
think.
because
Yeah.
I've actually done it.
You went to like an asylum for like ghosts or like old
An
people?
abandoned one. Yeah,
No way, dude.
dude, this was. I know we probably don't have time to go over it, but I'll share this with you guys. When we were in
Whoa.
high school, like a group of
Laura's
like
face.
six or seven of us went to. There was a notorious abandoned.
After you burn somebody.
This is where
You're never gonna let that go.
this is where they sent it. This is where they sent the
People
body.
don't forget.
This was definitely after that, but it was a different group of friends.
Burn
So
ward.
there's a city in Southern California here called Downey, and in Downey they had this abandoned mental institution that had been decrepit and abandoned for like decades, right?
Whoa.
And we were in high school, and we decided that we would actually go and check it out. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're like, we heard about this,
No,
and
no.
we're gonna go check it out. So we drive over to this place, and it's completely, there's no lights, there's no nothing. It's just like pitch black,
Whoa.
and there's signs that say like no trespassing and all kinds of. We go in anyway. We drive in, we park our car, and not everybody actually wanted to do it. Only 3 of us out of like 6 or 7 wanted to actually go in. And like you said, Laura, I'm gonna be the one that gets out of the car. I actually got out. We hopped a couple
Whoa.
fences, and
Oh
we
my
went
God.
in to check it out. And this is why one reason why I love this movie is because it totally depicts very accurately what an abandoned place looks like after many years. Because the place that we went to, and again, it's no longer there. There was a fire, I think, in the last year or two, where it's been burned down. But when you go in, it looks like it's been abandoned for so many years. There's like medical charts on the ground. There's empty
Ugh.
bottles of like medicine, like those brown opaque bottles that have like just random stuff on it. There's spray
So
paint.
you're dead. You're just a ghost that's been living. You've gotten married. You've had children. You have a podcast. You're just a
Yeah.
ghost because Greg is dead.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did this, but it helps when there's people with you. That's the thing.
Well, of
I would
course,
never do
yeah.
this by myself,
Oh,
right?
no.
Dude.
We went into this place, and there's bungalows where you go in, and you could tell that people had been there. There's like spray paint on the walls. It said like La Bruja, which means witch, or there was.
Dude, this is like this movie. Holy
my
fuck.
God.
Yeah, this is why I love this movie, because it
Whoa.
like the way that it looked was the way that this place was.
Accurate.
There were like empty bullet cases on the ground. I think that at some point, like the military used it for like training operations or something. I don't know what.
Whoa, this is
Wait a
crazy.
second. This is no.
No, this is legit, and this was back. This is a long time ago, but we did it. And the crazy thing is we were able to find power and turn on like lights
What?
Oh my God.
in some of the areas, and like I shit you not, 2 crazy things did actually happen when we went to this place. One was that when we opened one of the side doors, it like after one of us went in, it closed on that first person.
Whoa.
Like it felt like a force closed it.
Oh, hell no.
That freaked us out, right? So then we went to the other door because he had to go around. I was like, whatever.
So the person that went in first and that shut them alone, then they had to be in that room by themselves until you guys found them again?
Well, no, I said I could go through. I was like, "Hey, did you do that?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not going through this door." So he's like, "I'm gonna go
You're on
around."
your own, buddy.
Well, I found him in the other, so he had to go around to there's like another room through another hallway, and I met him through that one where the door was just like already busted open. And I'm going there. There's like chalkboards with like weird writing on it and all kinds of stuff just strewn about. When
I'm
we
scared.
when,
No,
when
I'm
we
scared
found the
hearing the
power,
story.
we turned the light on, and this is the one thing that was really freaky. And of course, it could be very coincidental, but it had those lights where it was just a light bulb that was enclosed by like a metal mesh cage hanging straight up from the ceiling. One of the light bulbs on our way out, as we were walking out, it popped. Like it turned
Oh,
it, where
dang.
it's like it pops, the light goes off, and
Yeah.
it just goes dark.
Mhm.
And that was the part where we booked it. We ran as fast as we could out of that bungalow. I mean, of course, look, the lights have been in service for who knows how many years. That finally someone turned it on. It was probably just a power surge. I don't know. But the fact that it popped right when we were walking underneath it, like over our heads,
Definitely a demon.
it it freaked us out.
How long were you guys in there total?
We were in there about half an hour.
Oh wow.
Just looking around. See, the thing is that when you go in there, you get to a certain level of comfort where you want to investigate.
No,
So we start
I
like
don't.
flipping through papers. We're like looking at the bottles, like, what is this medicine? And this is like before the internet,
You
where
guys
you
are
could like
crazy, dude.
where you could look at stuff. And we had like flashlights. And well, dude, 3 of us were crazy. There were like 5 or 6
Yeah.
others that were like reasonable and stayed in the car. Like
But you
outside of
weren't
trouble.
like just scared already?
Well, we were, but see, like I said, when you have somebody or multiple people with you, you feel brave.
Wow. Or is
So-
it like you're
yeah.
trying to you don't want to show that you're scared to the other people? Is that what you mean?
It's like you're going, as
like a
long as you
gang
don't, as
mentality.
long as you don't actually see something physically manifest in front of yourself, it's all just you trying to find the truth. So, like, we had heard about how creepy this place was, and it didn't disappoint. But it's not like we saw a ghost or anything. So it was just like us trying to, I don't know, you know what I mean? This is like you as a guy in your teen, you're trying to prove your awesomeness to yourself, really. So it was super scary. Like thinking back, it was a stupid idea because when we actually left, we'd like taken some. So like when we got out of the car and we started driving off the property, we noticed like some lights off in the distance, and as we started getting closer to the gate, the lights got closer. It was the city police department.
Oh shit.
They stopped us
Yeah.
for trespassing. And they made us get out of the car. They were like, "Oh, you guys are here to investigate some haunted house stuff, right?" We're like, "No, we don't know what you're talking about." And he was like, there were 2 officers. They made us all get out, and he was like, "Let me see your IDs." And like none of us brought our IDs like intentionally.
Oh, smart.
So the guy was like, he made us like put our hands on the hood, and he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna have to call your home. What's your phone number?" And he called the phone number for the first guy that like gave his house phone number, and we were like, "Please don't pick up, please don't pick up." And because we were all like underaged, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He calls the guy's mom, and she doesn't pick up, and we're like, "Oh, thank God." And they basically just gave us like a stern, warning, don't ever do this again. This is trespassing. This is illegal. Get out of here. And I'm so glad that he didn't like search our car because we had taken so much like souvenirs from.
Took
my
shit,
God.
dude.
Oh, we
Dude.
took like chalk, like
Oh my
papers, like
God.
random stuff that were like interesting to us.
Oh, dude, haven't you seen any Conjuring movie like spirits attached to things that you take from places, dude? You don't have anything still, do you?
No, I used to have, the last thing I had was a piece of chalk, and like I threw that away thinking like I never want this to follow me because like there was
Oh.
definitely a creepy vibe to this
Oh,
place.
see, man. Whoa. Wow.
I don't
Laura's,
know
like,
how you're
stunned right now.
alive.
Laura's
Yeah.
stunned.
Yeah, it's like, so that was one reason, like when I saw this, started watching this movie and the way that they shot it and the way that they, decorated the sets, I was like, this is spot on. I thought it was
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I'm not going ghost hunting with you, Greg. Sorry.
No. Hell no.
No,
We did
sorry.
all kinds of stuff like that when we were
That's crazy,
a lot younger.
dude.
But yeah, anyway,
Wow.
I just thought that was nuts. It's pretty scary, but yeah. So let's go to the end of this movie. I mean, I guess we finished up. I mean, of course, everyone dies, right? That's the
yeah.
the
pretty much,
bottom
yeah.
line.
Everybody dies. I do
Which
like.
can.
Oh,
Oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
Laura. No, I was gonna say I do like the very end when the asshole guy dies. How it's like.
Oh, yeah.
How he like sees himself getting strangled before he walks in, and then sees himself from the window standing. there.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
that's another part too where I was like, wait, like I knew what was happening in that moment, but it made me question other things to be like, wait, Like, did other things like happen for certain reasons, or it just made me like question things because not it seemed out of place, but I feel like nothing up to that point had done something like that where it was like a time loop situation. So I was just kind of confused in that moment.
They were just all getting messed with. It was
Just
messing with their
different.
Yeah.
vision, what they were
Oh,
seeing and experiencing. So
hmm
yeah, I thought that part was rad,
I thought it was
actually.
cool. Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. What were you gonna say,
Yeah.
Laura? Sorry.
What I was just gonna say, you're like, well, everyone dies. I just want to say real quick is that I have definitely am learning that like Asian horror films scare me more than like Western horror films.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a few reasons why, but I really learned with this one, like I think most of them don't have happy endings. Everybody dies. And I
Mm.
think I knew that kind of going in this time. I'm like, this isn't going to have a happy ending. And it's just me realizing that these movies, they first of all, they've just like perfected their craft and like what scares you. And I think that Asian cultures, um, they are believers in a lot of this
Oh yeah,
stuff.
that's
And
true.
like you said, I'm not 100%, but I
Mhm.
think that a lot of times when we watch Western horror, I don't know that these like writers, directors actually believe this stuff. You
I
can
doubt it
feel
actually.
that in the storytelling. Like they fucking believe this.
That's true.
And now I believe it because I'm watching it unfold and I'm like, this is real. This is so like visceral. Yeah, I'm so impressed by it. It's like I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing because I don't ever want to watch this movie ever again.
That
That's a
has to
good
be a
thing.
But
good thing,
it's
right?
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it scared me and I just yeah, there's just something about like uh Asian horror films, man. Just the Japanese like Ringu and now
Mm-hmm.
this like few Korean movies we've watched. Oh my god, just crazy. Anyway,
True. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point. Like, it doesn't have to be. There are a lot of Hollywood films where maybe it's being overproduced, or there's some sort of
yeah.
detachment from the
Mm-hmm.
horror where you go, well, you're just trying to make me scared rather than make me
Exactly.
feel that the people in the movie are scared.
Yep.
So yeah, they definitely did such a good job with
Yeah,
that.
and why would there ever be a happy ending? These are like vengeful spirits. It's evil. Of course, there's not going to ever be like survivors or a happy ending if you think about it. It's very real. Feels
Oh,
real.
only
Right.
Greg. Only Greg. Greg was the only survivor.
Yeah, right?
It's not like all my friends died; they lived too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
Um,
true. Yeah. Before we get to the ratings, do you guys want to hear like my after watch story?
yes.
Oh,
Because you guys
yeah.
know, usually when we watch scary movies, I do my like shit myself shuffle, where I have to like turn off the lights and then like run to my bedroom real fast before I get scared. But now with all this construction, I literally have two like sheets of plastic stopping me in the hallway that I have to unzip and then go through and then close zip
Oh,
and then go through.
no.
So like I was trying to after watching this movie think like, okay, how am I going to go through this process the least scary? Because if I seal myself inside here, which normally you're supposed to, like it's creepy as fuck in there. And then like one of the doorways that they sealed off is my son's room, but they didn't shut the fucking door. So it's just like a black emptiness behind a curtain. And I'm like, I know if I'm standing there, that chick's face is gonna pop into the
Yep.
plastic and I'm gonna freak out. So like what I ended up doing was this is like so stupid, but so I left like the living room light on. I unzip one zipper, then I step into like the middle area. I turn on like the hall. There's like a little light in there. I turn on that light. I unzip the other zipper, so both zippers are fully open now. So like I have two exits now. So then I go back all the way back to the living room. I turn on that light. So then I walk through the first zipper. I shut that one. So now I have another way to exit. But then now I'm in the position normally where I'm like I have to turn off this light while I'm in here, and I have to like try to
No.
run through this zipper really quickly and zip it. So I like super quickly just like flipped it off and like jumped through like this little open like zipper area
Oh
and like
my
almost took
god.
down the whole plastic with me. So I like jumped through and then I like zipped it really fast and shut the door and I locked the door and shit and yeah, then I
Oh
would
my
try to go to
god.
sleep. But it was like crazy trying to figure out like how to do that without being trapped in like that creepy fucking area after watching this movie.
Jeez.
I feel
It
like
was
this was like
scary.
the perfect time to watch this, given your house construction right now.
It is, man. It's so similar, like you said, just a dilapidated, like freaking area with like junk thrown everywhere and like holes in the
Ugh.
wall. Like that's what I'm living in right now. Yeah,
Oh man, that's like
scary,
legit.
man.
This movie, the movie
Scary,
set.
dude. Scary, dude.
Nice.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I feel like we've covered most of the movie. Do you guys want to go over your ratings? I have no idea what it's got on Rotten Tomatoes, but I really liked it. Where do you land on this movie, Rob?
Oh man, I mean, I just told you I like literally shit myself trying to go to bed after watching this movie. That's high regard right there. Laura doesn't ever want to watch this movie again because it's so scary. But it's not only that, like we talked about, like it's the ingenuity of like the cameras and the natural dialogue, the acting themselves.
Mhm.
Like honestly, like I had trouble like finding one thing that I didn't think was great in this movie. Like yes, you hate the main guy, but I wouldn't say that's a negative for the movie. It means the movie did well. You're supposed to hate him. So I mean, I feel like I'm going on a trend here, but I'm giving this a perfect 5.
Oh
Ooh.
shit!
Like what
Wow.
would you change in this fucking movie? Like nothing. Like I couldn't find
Yeah.
anything. So to me, this is like a perfect found footage horror movie. Like
Rob's
goddamn,
like,
it
was
scared
I'm
me.
giving this movie a 5. I only saw about 50% of it because I closed my eyes for the other 50. But it's a
Exactly.
5, guys.
The
But
fifty
I-
It's a
percent you
5.
saw is
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
a straight 5.
What I saw through like the cracks of my fingers was fucking perfect. Yeah. There you go.
Oh wow, very nice. Perfect score from Rob. What about you, Laura?
I'm giving it a 4.25. I think
Wow.
it was fantastic, but just so terrifying, and I don't ever want to see it again. And Rob, you need to take your fucking background down because I am just like, I'm
You're
so
just waiting.
scared.
Right before we click off, Laura, she's gonna stand. Don't worry about it, Laura.
No,
She's gonna stand
I'm
up.
out. I'm clicking off first.
It is very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me, I mean, I really enjoyed this. I'm glad I picked it. I finally
Yeah.
got to watch this.
Mhm.
There are a couple things like if there's one horror trope I could probably go another years without seeing again, it's the creepy little girl in the corner of the room with her back faced. Dolls.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't need to see dolls
Yeah.
again. I also do wish that there was one thing that I do like about Cloverfield, which I keep comparing it to just because it's the first thing that I think of with found footage, is I liked the emotional attachment. I mean, I hate to say it, it's kind of a stupid thing to do is create a love story for a horror movie, especially a found footage one. But the fact that there was that emotional attachment, I would have liked to see a little bit more. Even though the characters were really well, they acted fantastically in this movie. I would like to see that. But the innovation is just so perfect. I mean, I think that this is the most innovative found footage film, and this came out before
100%. Yeah.
before Host, by the way. So
Yeah.
they used a lot of the technology before anybody else did about incorporating GoPros and drones and all kinds of camera work and technology into the found footage
Yeah.
genre and eliminating all the issues that people had with Blair Witch or Cloverfield. So they did that really well. I'm gonna give it. I don't know what's our metric today.
Oh, we didn't even do our metric. I forgot about that.
Yeah, what are we gonna say? Ping pong balls?
How many
Oh,
how many
yeah.
dirty panties?
How many dirty panties? I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give it 4.25 dirty panties. So it's like 4 clean ones and then a quarter, which is who knows what's in there.
Definitely,
Oh.
it was my underwear. It was probably
It's
mine.
yours.
Mine were just 5 all soiled underwear. There's nothing clean left in mine. Yeah. What about you? What was your 0.25, Laura? What was your 0.25 underwear?
I don't care. I just want to get through this because I'm so scared. Please, God.
Laura's was a little
There's
doll
so many
underwear.
like
Yeah.
noises in my house right now.
Oh,
I
you got
just,
noises going on,
oh
Laura?
my
Oh shit,
God.
we're back to that.
Stop it. Just Buster Rhymes. It's just Buster Rhymes.
It's
It's
just
okay.
Busta Rhymes.
Wow.
Nice, cool. Well, that was awesome. I'm glad you guys could watch this one with me too. That was really enjoyable. You guys have any other points to talk about, or you want to go over?
I think
No,
that's it, man.
I just want to get out
Laura needs to
as
change her
Cool.
quickly
underwear.
as
Yeah.
possible.
All right, nice. All right, that'll do it for tonight then. You guys can follow us and contact us by email at conjecturingpod@gmail.com, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at conjecturingpod. We also have an awesome website that Rob's been laboring over, theconjecturing.com. It's got links to all of our cool stuff. Our merch, as Laura mentioned, tpublic.com/user/conjecturingpod. Go ahead and subscribe, rate, and review our podcast anywhere you want to listen to it on your phone. Check out all of the other great shows on the Slash and Cast network, podcast network at slashandcast.network. And that'll do it for this week, and we'll see you next time. I've been Greg.
I've been Spooky Rob. Woo.
And Laura, okay, bye.
All right, guys. See you next
Every
week.
time I gotta see, and then I gotta go, and then I gotta get it, and then I gotta blue, and then I gotta shit.